And we're back. We're back on An Hour to Give, talking all about the Orléans-Cumberland Community Resource Centre. And Denis and Rob have stayed with us, and I'm so glad that you're here, of course, and the important work that you're doing, Denis Charbonneau, in the firefighting world. Obviously very, very important. And you're at Ottawa U doing incredible work as well, taking care of people. But it's not enough for you two. Nope. You're involved, obviously, very heavily with this resource centre and right in your own community. We were talking earlier about getting families involved and all that good stuff. So talk to me about the day of. Where are you and where do you find your friend Rob?
So the day of the event, I'm out at the grocery stores with the firefighters, loading trucks and doing all the front end stuff. Yeah. You know, talking to the people and you know, taking pictures and giving out candy canes, whatever we're doing. And then I bring all the food over to the food drive, and we drive the food over to the food bank, and Rob takes it from there.
And where do you do? Take me from there.
So take it from there. It starts months ahead, where by the month of August, I get emails saying, hey, when's the food drive? Mm-hmm. So I have an incredible group of volunteers that are friends, former colleagues that are now great friends, and a bunch of people that are like-minded that wants to be there on this day. What we do is when Denis or his partners arrive with the fire vehicles full of food, we call out a bucket brigade. And we all line up and we offload the truck. Oh. And then we sort out all of the foods. And in our group of volunteers, we have people of all walks and all ages. And one of the things that we do is we have our young collaborators, our young volunteers, and we give them specific jobs about baby cereal, diapers, and they take care of the kids section. So when they see these products, we leave it on the table and they take ownership of it and sort it out for us. And what that does is gives them a lot of ownership, because at the beginning of the day, they'll see that how bare that shelf was. And at the end of the day, they see how the contribution of a community helped them keep busy all day, and then they see the results of their actions at the end of the day.
How brilliant is that? Because I mean, I think when kids are given a task and they see that it's gone from bare to full, then they feel more excited to even come back next year, right?
Correct. That's
right. Yeah, it's amazing.
As we were talking during the break, we have this young boy, Caleb, started volunteering with us. He was 6 years old, and now he's 14, still volunteering with us. And in fact, he's bringing his cousin this time around.
I love it.
So it's a force multiplier as well. When volunteers have a meaningful task and a meaningful contribution, they want to come back and they bring like-minded people to our group. So I don't have a short of volunteers, but what I do have is people that have their hearts at the right place.
Yeah.
Does this volunteering keep you young?
Yes. Yeah. I find. Yeah, it does. Yeah. You know what? It keeps us going. Like it's a lot of planning. Getting the vehicles, getting the bins, getting all that. It's a lot of planning. But you know what? It's so fun. It goes by and it's like, you know, it's like planning for a big wedding, and then all of a sudden it's finished.
Right.
And get back at it next year. But,
and you two are still together.
Yeah, we're still together. We'll argue.
Which is great. And, you know, involving your families, like you mentioned before, you both, when you both spoke about that, there was a spark in your eye about how important that is for you to involve your families, knowing that, once again, there's a family down the street that might be in need as well. So the family piece has been important for you.
Very, very important. And like Rob was saying, you know, you get the kids involved where they see it and they see the change, you know, and, you know, in every walk of life, it could be the person next door or whatever, like we were saying a while ago. And when, you know, my son is 9 years old, he moves it. He knows that it could be that person just crossed him at school that needs the food. And he understands that, and he really grasps, and then he takes it. And so much that, you know, my wife tells me sometimes, like, okay, that's a bit too much. You're doing too much. You got to take a break. But now my son, they're looking for volunteers at school for all this community, all this, and he signed up for everything.
Of course.
So then my wife says, oh, he signed up for everything. He goes, yeah, but Daddy does it. And I'm like, okay, well, we got to take a little break.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have a little Denis in the making. Yes.
And I think Denis touched on something, is that we're also very blessed to have partners in our spouses that are sharing us with our community. They let us be who we want to be with the support that we have from our spouses. And they're also good friends. And I think it brings people together. So
It does.
it's not only an individual thing, but it's a team thing. So between Team Charbonneau, Team Paiement, and many different teams that are supporting this event, it's making an impact that's very positive in our community.
I am so glad you brought up your spouses. I think it's a brilliant point, and I'm really glad you did. Let's talk about the family you have at the firehouse. So talk to me a little bit about the team you work with there. I know, as you know, I adore the firefighters and have done much work over the years with your team, including Nick DeFazio and the whole team there. But talk about your group.
So my group, so I'm in East End. I'm at the Station 53 in Charlemagne. So a volunteer firefighter composite station. So I have firefighters from Navan, Cumberland, and Vars. We have about 100 firefighters that come out for that day with their families and stand at all the grocery stores and collect the food. Tremendous work. They're there. I just tell them we need you between these hours, and the spots fill up. They bring their families. Hey, can we bring, now like Rob was saying, some of the kids, the firefighters' kids are bringing their families, their friends, and we're, signing off for volunteer hours and so on and so forth. So they're really seeing the giving and doing all the impact. We do so much, and I think it's a thing I grew up in the fire service. I think it's a thing in the fire department. We have to help. We have to, as much as we drive the big red truck and, everybody likes to see that, but, in the background, we like to, I'm involved with so much stuff, the T. Morgan car wash, the food bank, MD. So we really push our firefighters. That's our number one thing. I mean, in the fire service, community is the biggest thing. Community, we have to be out there helping our community. And that's something I tell our new firefighters. Like I said, I've been doing over 22 years now. And it's something that we really have to embrace and help. And it brings a smile to your face just seeing that little things like that happen.
For sure. I love seeing you all at the Navan Fair. I'm always at the Navan Fair and love seeing all of you there as well as out in the community. Give us a sense of sort of what's planned for the next few weeks. We know, of course, Saturday, December 7th, very, very big day for you. But walk us through right up until maybe the 20th, 21st of December. If someone can't give on the 7th, how are they reaching out and giving past that day?
Yep. I would say that the best way is to link up to the Orléans-Cumberland Resource Center if they live in our catchment area or they want to donate specifically to that food program. But any one of the food banks, and what people don't understand is that food banks in Ottawa are regulated by a catchment area. So for us, it's the Orléans-Cumberland Resource Center. But in Orleans, depending on your postal code, you may be under another food bank in the K1C.
Right.
Or you may be in the Blackburn Hamlet catchment area. So in Orleans itself, going all the way to the city limits of Clarence-Rockland, we have Orléans-Cumberland. But then halfway through Orleans, we have the K1C, which is a food bank managed at a local church. And then in Blackburn Hamlet, there's a third food bank there. So a lot of times people will knock on the door and say, oh, you can't come here. But it's important to know that there is a place for people to go. So if you want to donate in your community, try to reach out to your local city councilor or your MPP or call your local resource center to make sure you're donating at the right place. But a donation at a food program multiplies. So the donation you make in December may be spent in January, February, March, God bless, April, if we have those funds. So we can multiply it and have an impact in the weeks and months going forward. The demand is greater, and what we saw is that sometimes people don't know how to donate and how to give. If it's food, it's food. If it's time, you can volunteer. If it's not with us, you can volunteer within your community.
It just enriches the whole community, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So take me to December 25th. You've done all the work. Santa's come down the chimney. Lots of families got, nice full bellies. How do you spend that day? Do you reflect on the work that you've done? Yeah,
we do. Hopefully we're not at a fire or anything like that. But time with the family and relax and reflect on everything we did over the year. Yeah.
And let me guess, starting on the 26th of December, you start thinking about 2025, Rob?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
We do.
I know that already.
Yeah.
I can just tell.
We're always planning after, because there's always a debrief that we do after each
Smart.
one of our events. So we learn, we do some critical pathing, what would we change for next year, and then over time, over the other 5 or 6 things we're going to do in the community over the year, we'll talk about it and, get better at it. To add to Denis' words as well is that I think on Christmas Day, it's to bring people. There's Mike Nickerson in his book, Life, Money, and Illusion. He writes a segment about the goods in life versus the good life. So don't worry about that big screen TV with the latest craze of toys. Have a good day with your child on Christmas Day. Don't make it about the goods. Don't make it about spending. Make it about a good day. And if that can include food, even better.
Yeah, beautifully said. Yeah, beautifully said. How do you hang out when you're not volunteering? Do you golf together? Do you fish together? Or are you always chatting about the Orleans-Cumberland Community Resource Center?
We're in everything. So we do. We don't golf or anything like that.
No.
But we do.
Memorial.
So the memorial. So typically December we're doing the food drive. June we're doing Firefighter Day in Cumberland. Rob helps me a lot with that, the cooking and so on. Just before June and May, we'll do the T. Morgan car wash. And then in September, I brought Rob on this year. I sit on the Canadian Fallen Firefighter Memorial. I'm one of the ambassadors.
Oh, wow.
So I brought Rob in to be one of the drivers picking up the families.
Yeah.
So I guess pretty much every month we see each other.
Amazing. They say that if you want something done, give it to a busy person. Is that this case with all of you?
I think it's indicative of our community here in Ottawa. I call it the ATSP syndrome, always the same people. They are involved as coaches, mentors, peers, church leaders. They're there for their community. So I think it's a great syndrome to have because Ottawa has a really great volunteer base and they seem to be recruiting other people. So sharing the burden and, the best news we could get on a Christmas morning is that there's no more food insecurity. But until then, we're going to work hard at it and try to do our part. So
Beautifully said. So where are we finding you on Saturday, December the 7th?
So Saturday, December 7th, we're going to be at the 3 metros in Orleans. So Orleans, Common Glen, and Cumberland on 10th line. On Innes Road, we'll be at the Sobeys on 10th line, and we'll be at the Sobeys on Trim Road, and we'll be at the Freshco on Trim Road.
You're going to be everywhere.
We're going to be everywhere.
Everywhere. Gentlemen, you've inspired me today, and you've given me hope. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
I appreciate it. Denis Charbonneau joining us today and Rob Paiement talking all about their love for the Orleans community, the Orleans-Cumberland Community Resource Center. I'm Sam Laprade. We're coming back to talk more about this wonderful organization on An Hour to Give.